Chosen one, what I'm about to share with you isn't just another message, it's a revelation that will change your life. Right now, in this very moment, you are not here by accident. You've been chosen. I don't know what brought you to this place, but trust me when I say this. God has led you here for a reason. There is no coincidence in His timing, and if you're listening, it's because you are about to experience something extraordinary, something that will redefine your entire journey. Have you ever felt that deep stirring sensation in your spirit that something powerful is coming? That's not just a feeling, it's a divine whisper calling you to pay attention. The moment you've been waiting for is unfolding right before your eyes, and what's coming for you is more incredible than you could ever imagine. Imagine for a moment that you're standing at the edge of a storm. Winds howl, darkness surrounds you, and you feel as if everything is falling apart. But then suddenly the clouds begin to part. The storm recedes, and there, rising in the distance, is the most radiant golden sunrise you've ever seen. That's what's about to happen in your life. What's coming is a breakthrough, a blessing that will rewrite your story in ways you've never dreamed possible. This is not just some fleeting wish or a distant hope, it's a divine promise. It's the destiny you were made for, and it's time for you to step into it. Let me tell you something. This is for you. You've been chosen for greatness, chosen to rise above the ordinary, chosen to receive blessings that defy logic. Maybe you've doubted it before. Maybe you've questioned if you really are destined for something bigger. But today I want to remind you that you are special, you are unique, and you are destined for something beyond your wildest dreams. This message right now is for you, chosen one. What if this is the moment everything changes? What if the life you've always imagined, the dream you've carried in your heart, is about to become reality? Stick with me. The best part is yet to come. You might be thinking, but how do I know this is for me? The answer is simple. Because you've felt it. Deep down, you've always known there's more to your life than what you've experienced so far. You're here because something in your soul has been awakened. Something in you knows this message is for you. And when you feel that spark, you have to listen. This is a divine invitation, a call to step into the greatness that God has prepared for you. You're not just passing through life, you are meant to leave an impact, to create a legacy, and to receive blessings that will transform not just your life, but the lives of those around you. So if this stirs something in your heart, I invite you to join me on this journey. Hit that like button, because this is the beginning of something huge. Get ready, chosen one. What's coming next will change everything. Keep listening, because what I'm about to share will unlock the blessings you've been waiting for. God has made a promise to you, and it's one that will transform your life in ways you can't yet comprehend. He has vowed to deliver something so extraordinary, so beyond anything you've ever known, that it will change everything you thought possible. This is not just a fleeting hope or wish. This is a guarantee. God's word is unshakable, and what He has promised, He will fulfill. You may have doubted at times, but now is the moment to stand firm in the truth that God's plan for you is not only real, it is unfolding right before your eyes. Just like He promised in Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." His plans are bigger than your struggles, greater than your doubts, and designed to prosper you. If He said it, He will do it. Think about it. God's promises are not like man's promises. They are not subject to the changing winds of circumstances. No. His word is a rock, a firm foundation that will never fail you. His promise to you is not a maybe, not a we'll see. It's a divine yes. You may have gone through seasons of hardship, moments where it seemed like everything was falling apart, but those struggles were not in vain. God has been preparing you for what's to come. Like Esther, who was chosen for such a time as this, you have been picked for a purpose. Your moment is now. Just as He guided Joseph from a pit to a palace, He is setting you up for something incredible. This promise is not just about wealth or success, though it may involve those things. It's about fulfillment. It's about living out the purpose God has uniquely designed for you. It's about walking in your calling, having peace in your heart, and knowing that everything you need is already on its way. Like a river flowing endlessly, this blessing will keep coming. It will be a constant stream of favor, peace, and opportunities, all designed to bring you closer to the person God has called you to be. God's reliability is not just a comforting thought, it is the very bedrock of our faith. He has never failed, and He will never fail you. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever, and what He promises, He delivers. The breakthrough you've been waiting for is not just a far-off dream, it's a sure thing. All you need to do is trust in His timing and believe that what He has said will come to pass. You don't need to chase after this blessing. It's already on its way to you. Your only task is to trust, to believe that God's plans are bigger and better than anything you could ever imagine. The divine promise is on the horizon, and when it arrives, it will change everything. Now it's time to release the past, because what God has for you is waiting to fill the space you make for it. Let go of the old and get ready to receive the new. This promise is real, and it's coming for you. How long have you carried the weight of the past, chosen one? How many times have you looked back at the hurts, the failures, the regrets, and thought that they would forever define you? It's time to stop. It's time to release that burden. I want you to understand something that could be the key to everything. The blessings you are about to receive cannot fit into a heart that is full of yesterday's pain. The future God has for you is too big, too magnificent, to be held back by the past. Right now it's time to drop the baggage, time to let go. God has something so much better for you than what you're holding on to. Imagine this. You've been wearing the same heavy coat for years. It's tattered, uncomfortable, and it no longer serves its purpose. But you've kept it on because it's familiar. You've grown used to the weight. But what if I told you that it's time to shed that coat? It's time to let go of the old, the uncomfortable, the things that have been weighing you down. When you release that old coat, you open yourself to something new, something light, something better, and that's what God wants for you. The truth is, God can't pour new blessings into an already full vessel. He's ready to heal you, ready to restore what's been broken. But you have to open your hands. You have to let go of the past in order to make room for the future. I know it's not easy. I know the scars you carry, the memories that haunt you, can feel like an anchor pulling you back. But hear this. Your past doesn't define you. The choices you made, the pain you endured, they are not your identity. You are not what has happened to you. You are what God is doing in you right now. You are the one He's calling into greatness. Take a deep breath. Right now, let that old hurt go. Ask God to take it from you. He's ready. He's always ready to heal, to restore, to make all things new. But you must let go. This moment is the beginning of your freedom. The unbelievable blessings you're about to receive can't find a place in your heart if it's already crowded with pain. Maybe you've been struggling with financial loss, heartbreak, or a failed dream. Whatever it is, I want you to know this. Your story doesn't end there. You are not the sum of your struggles. The unbelievable is coming for you, and it's waiting for you to make room. What if I told you that the moment you let go, the moment you release that weight, your life could begin to shift in ways you never thought possible? The miracle can't come until you clear the space for it, chosen one. If you're ready to let go of your past, to open your heart for the blessings ahead, I want you to do something. Comment 99 below. It's a small step, but it's a step toward freedom. A step toward embracing the future God has for you. The past has no hold on you anymore. You are free, and what's coming next will be more than you could have ever dreamed. Get ready, because you're about to step into a new chapter of your life. And this time, the story will be different. This time, it will be filled with the promises of God. Faith, chosen one, is not just a word. It's the very foundation of the life you're about to step into. It's the invisible force that moves mountains, opens doors, and prepares the way for the unbelievable blessings God has promised you. But here's the thing. Faith isn't just about believing that something will happen. It's about trusting that God's plan is already in motion, even when you can't see it. It's about standing firm on His word no matter how impossible the circumstances may seem. Think about Noah for a moment. God told him to build an ark, a massive boat, before there was any sign of rain. Can you imagine how crazy that must have seemed? It hadn't rained in centuries. Yet Noah believed God, even when it didn't make sense. He trusted that what God said would come to pass, and so he moved forward in faith. What if your miracle, your blessing, is just like that? What if the thing you're waiting for is right around the corner, but the only thing standing in the way is your faith? What if faith is the key to unlock your miracle? What if the very thing you've been praying for is waiting for you to trust that God will provide it in His perfect timing? Faith is what allows you to see beyond your current reality and into the realm of the possible. It's believing that, even when you don't have all the answers, God is still in control. When you have faith, you move differently. You act as though the blessing is already on its way, because you know it is. Start today. Take that first step of faith, even if it's a small one. Maybe it's praying with more expectation, or maybe it's simply believing that your breakthrough is coming, even if the circumstances don't line up yet. It might seem hard at first, but remember, faith is like a muscle. It grows stronger the more you use it. Every prayer, every moment of trust builds your faith and brings you closer to the unimaginable blessings that God has for you. Let me share with you a personal story. There was a time in my life when I had to trust God with something that seemed impossible. I had no idea how things would work out, and I felt fear creeping in, but I chose to believe that God was bigger than my doubts. I prayed with everything in me, asking Him to show me the way. And you know what? It wasn't long before I saw the breakthrough I was waiting for. Not only did God provide, but He did it in a way that exceeded my expectations. He always does. Right now, I want you to make a decision in your heart. Say it out loud. I will trust. I will believe. I know that God's plan for me is bigger than my own. When you do this, your faith will become the spark that moves your blessing closer. Chances are, the moment you decide to embrace faith fully, the door will open wide. The floodgates will pour out. What's on the other side of that door? It's the unbelievable, the extraordinary, and it's waiting for you. You're closer than you think. The miracle is already on its way, and your faith will bring it into your life faster than you can imagine. Keep trusting, chosen one. Your faith is powerful. What is the unbelievable thing that's coming for you, chosen one? What does it look like? And how will it change your life? The truth is, it could be anything. It could be a breakthrough in your finances, a restored relationship, a new career opportunity, or even healing in your body. The possibilities are endless. But what I do know is this: it will be exactly what you need, exactly what God has ordained for you. It will be a gift that fits perfectly with the desires He has placed in your heart. Imagine this: a treasure chest, one you've longed to open, just sitting there in front of you. You don't know what's inside yet, but you can feel the weight of its promise. There's something powerful in the anticipation of that moment, the moment when the chest opens and everything you've been waiting for is revealed. That's what's coming for you. Your own treasure chest is being unlocked, and what's inside is beyond your imagination. It's more than just material wealth or success. It's the fulfillment of your purpose, the manifestation of God's promises in your life. Maybe you're thinking, could it really be that big? Could the blessing really be that significant? Yes, it could be. In fact, it's going to be bigger than you ever dreamed. God's surprises are always wilder than we can imagine, and what He has for you is no exception. It's like a seed planted in the ground that you can't see yet, but it's growing. Slowly, steadily. And when the time is right, it will bloom into something magnificent. What is that seed for you? What has God planted deep in your heart? Maybe it's a calling you've ignored, or a dream you've put on the back burner. Whatever it is, trust that God is cultivating it right now, and when the time comes, it will burst forth with unimaginable beauty. The possibilities are endless, but one thing is for sure: The unbelievable is coming. It might look different from what you expected. It might take a form that surprises you. But whatever it is, it will be tailor-made for your life, your needs, and your purpose. The blessing is not generic. It is personalized. It is a promise that only God could fulfill. And it's coming for you, chosen one. But here's the most exciting part. You don't have to wait in uncertainty. You don't have to wonder if the blessing will come or when it will come. What if I told you that the blessing is already on its way to you? It's already been set, in motion, and the only thing left is for you to receive it. Imagine standing on the edge of a wave waiting for it to crash, knowing that when it does, it will bring everything you've ever needed. That's the feeling you should have right now. The unbelievable is coming, and it's coming for you. So what are you waiting for? Are you ready to embrace this gift? God's timing is perfect, and He has already prepared a place for you to receive it. All you need to do is be ready. Keep your heart open, stay in faith, and trust that what's coming will exceed your wildest dreams. It's closer than you think. The treasure chest is about to open, and when it does, your life will be forever changed. Stay tuned, because what's coming next will blow your mind. Preparation, chosen one, is key to receiving the blessings that are already on their way. Just think about it for a moment. When you know a special guest is coming to visit, what do? You prepare. You clean your house, you get ready to welcome them in with open arms, and you make sure everything is in place to honor them. The same principle applies to the blessings God is bringing into your life. He's about to bring something incredible your way. And just like you would prepare for a guest, you must prepare for the blessing. The first step in this preparation is prayer. You must open your heart to God's plans for you. Prayer is more than just asking for things. It's about aligning your heart with God's will. It's about saying, Lord, I am ready for what you have for me. When you pray, invite God into your process. Ask Him to guide you, to give you wisdom, and to help you be ready for what's to come. Prayer is where preparation begins, and when you pray with faith, you're making space for God to work in ways you can't yet see. The second step is to clear the clutter. You can't receive the new if you're still holding on to the old. Just as you wouldn't try to pour new wine into an old wineskin, you can't hold on to past mistakes, past hurts, or any negativity if you want to fully embrace the blessings God has for you. This means clearing the clutter from your mind, your heart, and even your home. Let go of things that no longer serve you. Clean out the areas of your life where you're holding on to what's unnecessary. Think about this analogy. It's like tilling the soil before planting a garden. If the soil is filled with weeds, rocks, and debris, the seed won't grow. But when the soil is cleared, when it's prepared, the seed can take root and flourish. Your heart is the soil, chosen one. What are you holding on to that is preventing the seed of God's blessing from growing in your life? What needs to be cleared away so that the incredible future He has for you can take root? The final step is expectation. You need to act as though the blessing is already on its way. You need to expect it. The preparation you do is not just about cleaning house or making space. It's about aligning your actions with what you believe is coming. Start acting as though the blessing is already here. Speak in faith. Walk in faith. Your expectations must match the magnitude of the blessing that's on its way. Let me share something personal with you. There was a time in my life when I had been praying for a breakthrough. I felt stuck, unsure of how things would ever change. But I realized that while I was praying for change, I wasn't fully preparing for it. I hadn't cleared the clutter in my heart, and I wasn't truly expecting things to be different. Once I took those steps, praying with faith, letting go of the past, and expecting the best, I began to see things shift. The breakthrough came faster than I could have imagined. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. Now I want you to do the same. Make room for the blessing by preparing spiritually, emotionally, and physically. Pray, let go of what's holding you back, and expect the unbelievable. The preparation you do now will open the door for the incredible things God has in store for you. What's coming is more than you can imagine, but you have to be ready to receive it. Get yourself in a position of readiness, and watch how God will show up. The unbelievable is about to unfold. and you're going to be prepared to embrace it. Doubt, chosen one, is one of the greatest obstacles we face when stepping into the blessings God has for us. It's natural to feel unsure at times, especially when what we're believing for feels so far out of reach. But let me tell you something. Doubt does not have to define your future. It doesn't have to stop you from receiving the unbelievable blessings that are already on their way. Feeling unsure? It's okay. It's human. But remember this: doubt delays, but faith delivers. When you choose to step over your doubt and trust in God's promises, you open the door for Him to work in your life in powerful ways. There's a story in the Bible about Thomas, one of Jesus' disciples, who doubted the resurrection. He wasn't present when Jesus first appeared to the others, and he refused to believe until he could see Jesus' wounds with his own eyes. When Jesus appeared to him, he didn't scold Thomas for doubting. He met him where he was. Jesus showed Thomas his wounds and told him, "Do not disbelieve but believe," John 20:27. Thomas's doubt didn't prevent Jesus from showing up, but it did delay his experience of the miracle. The same is true for you. Your doubt doesn't scare God, but it can slow down your progress. What's holding you back from fully trusting Him with your situation? Is it fear of failure? Is it past disappointments that have caused you to question God's goodness? Whatever it is, I want you to know that God meets you in your doubt. You don't have to have all the answers right now. It's okay to be uncertain, but don't let that uncertainty stop you from believing in what God can do. I've been in a place before where I doubted if things would ever change. I wondered if I was truly on the right path, if my prayers were being heard. But God proved to me time and time again that my doubt was never too big for His power. He showed up in unexpected ways, in ways I could never have planned or predicted. And the more I let go of my doubt and leaned into faith, the more I began to see His hand move in my life. Here's what I want you to do. Pray through your doubt. When you feel unsure, don't turn away from God. Turn to Him. Ask Him to help you believe, to strengthen your faith. Trust that He is bigger than your doubts, and He is more than capable of fulfilling every promise He's made to you. You don't need to have it all figured out right now. Your faith doesn't need to be perfect. Just take that step of belief, even if it's small. And here's a truth that might surprise you. God can use your doubt. He can take that uncertainty and turn it into a deeper understanding of His faithfulness. He can use your questions to draw you closer to Him, to deepen your trust in His plan. Doubt doesn't disqualify you from receiving His blessings. It just means you need to lean on Him even more. Remember, your blessing is on its way. Doubt may come, but it won't stop what God has planned for you. Just keep trusting. Your blessing is closer than you think, and when it comes, it will be everything you've ever dreamed of, and more. Keep believing, chosen one. Don't let doubt steal your future. Trust in God, and let faith lead the way. Obedience, chosen one, is the key that accelerates the blessings God has for you. It is not about following rules or checking boxes. It's about saying yes to God's voice, even when it doesn't make sense. When you listen to His guidance and obey His call, you open the door to the supernatural. God doesn't ask for perfection. He asks for your willingness, your surrender, and your obedience. Think about Abraham. God told him to leave everything he knew, his home, his family, his comfort zone, and go to a land that God would show him. Abraham didn't know where he was going, but he trusted God enough to step out in faith and obey. And because of his obedience, God made him the father of many nations. Abraham's obedience didn't just change his life, it changed the world. That's the power of saying yes to God's call, even when you don't understand all the details. Obedience doesn't always come easily. Sometimes God asks us to do things that are uncomfortable or that require us to step out of our comfort zones. It may seem risky, or you may feel unqualified. But I want you to know that God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. When you obey, you allow God to work through you in ways you can't even imagine. He makes up for what you lack. He fills in the gaps. The only thing He requires is your willingness to follow Him, to trust that His way is the best way, and to take that first step of obedience. Think of your own life. What is God asking you to do right now? Is there something He's been nudging you to move forward in, whether it's a new opportunity, a relationship, or a step of faith? Maybe it's a decision to forgive someone, to make a career change, or to take a leap of faith that feels impossible. Whatever it is, I want you to know that obedience is the bridge between where you are and where God wants to take you. Here's a challenge for you, chosen one. Take one obedient step today. Maybe it's something small, a decision to trust God in an area you've been holding back from Him. Maybe it's a conversation you need to have, or a step you need to take towards something you've been avoiding. Don't wait for the perfect moment or the ideal circumstances, just obey. God will meet you there, and as you take that step, He will open doors you never thought possible. Let me share something personal. There was a time when I was faced with a decision that seemed too big for me. I had to step into the unknown, and I wasn't sure if I was ready, but I knew that God was calling me to take that step. It was hard, it felt risky, but I obeyed. And in doing so, I saw God show up in ways I never imagined. He provided, He guided, and He opened doors that I never could have opened on my own. The blessing that came from that act of obedience was far greater than I could have dreamed. Your yes to God will set you on a path of blessing that will not only impact your life, but also the lives of those around you. It may not always be easy, but it will always be worth it. The more you obey, the more God will bless you because your obedience aligns you with His will. It's not about doing things perfectly. It's about being willing to say yes to whatever He asks. So I challenge you today, step out in obedience. Trust God with your yes, and watch how He moves in your life. You are about to experience blessings beyond your wildest dreams, and it all begins with that one step of obedience. Gratitude, chosen one, is one of the most powerful forces you can harness to bring more blessings into your life. It's easy to wait for the breakthrough, for the miracle, for the answer to your prayers before you feel thankful. But I'm here to tell you that gratitude, even before the blessing arrives, is the key that unlocks even more abundance. Gratitude turns waiting into welcoming. When you thank God before you see the results, you position yourself to receive even more. Think about this for a moment. When someone gives you a gift, how do you respond? With gratitude, right? You don't wait until you fully understand the gift or its value. You accept it, you receive it with thanks, and in doing so, you honor the giver. The same goes for the blessings God has for you. When you live in a posture of gratitude, you are acknowledging that He is faithful, that He is good, and that He is already working on your behalf, even if you can't see it yet. It's easy to focus on what we don't have, to look at what's missing in our lives, or to wonder why things aren't moving as quickly as we'd like. But what if we flip that perspective? What if, instead of looking at what's lacking, we focused on what we already have? Every day there is something to be thankful for. Maybe it's the breath in your lungs, the people in your life, the opportunities you've already received, or the simple fact that God is with you through it all. When you thank God for these things, no matter how small, you open the door for Him to bless you with even more. Gratitude is also a mindset. It's not just about saying thank you, it's about shifting your focus, changing the way you see the world. You start to look for the good, the blessings, the opportunities, even in the midst of challenges. Gratitude becomes a filter through which you view everything, and when you begin to see life through that lens, you realize that God has already been so good to you. And when you acknowledge that, you invite even more goodness into your life. Let me give you a challenge. Start today by listing 3 things you're thankful for, no matter how small they seem. It could be a kind word from a friend, a moment of peace, or even something you're believing God for in the future. Say it out loud, thank Him for it, and watch how your perspective begins to shift. As you practice gratitude, you will begin to feel your spirit lifted, your heart opened, and your expectation grow. The more you thank God, the closer you draw to the unbelievable blessings He has in store for you. I remember a time when I was feeling discouraged. I couldn't see how things would change, and I felt stuck. But I decided to start practicing gratitude. even for the small things. I thanked God for the breath in my lungs, the love of my family, and the peace that He gave me each day. Slowly but surely, my heart began to change. I felt lighter, more hopeful, and more expectant for what was coming. And in that season, God showed up in ways I couldn't have imagined. His blessings poured out because I had made room for them, with gratitude. Gratitude is the key to unlocking more blessings. It's the magnet that attracts favor, peace, and provision. So thank God now, before you see it, before it happens. Thank Him for what's coming, for the blessings, you know, are on the way. It's the key that will unlock the door to even more of His goodness in your life. If you're feeling thankful, drop a thank you in the comments. Let's declare together that we are ready for the blessings that are coming our way. Keep thanking Him and watch how the unbelievable begins to unfold. Gratitude pulls the unbelievable closer to you, chosen one. Keep your heart full of thanks and get ready for what's about to come. Community, chosen one, is more powerful than you realize. We were never meant to walk this journey alone. God designed us to thrive in relationships, to grow together, and to support one another. That's why having a faith-filled community is such a crucial part of receiving the blessings He has for you. The journey you're on is not just for you, it's for all of us. And when you surround yourself with people who share your faith, your vision, and your heart, you amplify the impact of God's work in your life. Together, we are stronger. Together, we can weather the storms and celebrate the victories. Think about the early church. In Acts 2, the believers came together in one heart and mind. They shared their resources, prayed for one another, and encouraged each other as they followed God's will. The Bible says that all the believers were together and had everything in common, Acts 2:44. This sense of unity and community didn't just strengthen them, it propelled them toward greater things. They supported each other through challenges. They celebrated each other's victories, and together they experienced the power of God in ways they could never have alone. Just like them, we too are stronger when we share our faith, our struggles, and our victories with others. You don't have to carry the weight of your journey by yourself. You have a family here, a community of believers who are walking this path with you. When doubt creeps in, when fear tries to take hold, your community will be there to lift you up, to encourage you, and to remind you of the promises God has made. The support of others is not just comforting, it's empowering. But it's not just about receiving support, it's also about giving. When you share your faith and blessings with others, you become a part of something bigger than yourself. Your testimony encourages someone else to keep going. Your prayers lift others up when they're struggling. Your belief in the impossible helps them believe too. Your blessing doesn't just benefit you, it flows out to everyone around you. That's the beauty of community. We all rise together. Have you experienced the power of a community before? Maybe it was a church group, a group of friends, or a family that supported you in a difficult season. I know I have. There were moments when I felt like giving up, but it was the prayers and encouragement of my community that helped me keep going. They reminded me of who I was in Christ and what I was capable of with Him by my side. And those moments were the turning points in my life, the moments when I realized just how powerful it is to be surrounded by people who believe in you and your journey. Right now, I want to invite you to be a part of this community. You are not alone. You are a part of something bigger. Let's grow together. Let's share our faith, our challenges, and our victories. Together, we can walk boldly into the unbelievable blessings that God has for us. You don't have to do this alone. We're here to support you, to pray for you, and to cheer you on every step of the way. If you feel ready to join this journey, to connect with a group that will lift you up, I invite you to subscribe and become a part of this community. Let's encourage each other, share our stories, and walk in faith together. Your blessing is on its way, and we're here to help you receive it. Together, we'll celebrate what's coming, and together, we'll walk in the fullness of everything God has promised. God's timing, chosen one, is perfect. I know that sometimes it feels like we are waiting forever for our breakthrough. We pray, We trust and we wait, but nothing seems to change. It's in these moments when everything feels still that we are tested the most. But hear this. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. God is always working, even when we don't understand or see the full picture. His timing is never early, never late. It's always just right. Think about Joseph. He was sold into slavery by his brothers, thrown into prison for something he didn't do, and endured years of hardship. Can you imagine how long those years must have felt for him? Yet in the midst of his suffering, God was preparing him for something greater. At just the right moment, when the time had come, Joseph was elevated from prison to the palace, becoming second in command in Egypt. His waiting wasn't wasted. It was God's way of preparing him for the position he was meant to hold. Just like Joseph, your season of waiting is not wasted. God is preparing you for what's coming. Waiting is not a sign of abandonment or delay. It's God's way of growing you, building your character, and making sure you're ready to handle the blessing that's on its way. It's like baking a cake. You can't rush the process. If you take it out too soon, it won't be ready. But if you wait for the right moment, when everything is just right, the end result is something incredible. What if your delay is actually your setup? What if the season of waiting is God's way of strengthening you, refining you, and positioning you for what's next? The Bible says in Ecclesiastes 3:11, He has made everything beautiful in its time. God knows exactly what He's doing, and His timing is always perfect. The blessing you've been waiting for is coming, and when it does, it will be more beautiful than you could have imagined. I know that waiting can be hard. It's frustrating, and it's easy to lose heart when you don't see the results you're expecting. But I want to encourage you today. Don't give up. Trust in God's timing. Even when it feels like nothing is happening, trust that He is working behind the scenes, setting everything in place for you. The waiting is not for nothing. It's a vital part of the process. And when God's timing is right, everything will fall into place. Let me share with you something personal. There was a time in my life when I felt like I was waiting forever for a breakthrough. I prayed, I believed, and still, nothing seemed to change. But in that season of waiting, God was preparing me in ways I couldn't see at the time. When the breakthrough finally came, I realized that everything I had gone through had been necessary for me to be ready for the blessing. The waiting wasn't wasted, it was part of the process. And now looking back, I can see how perfect God's timing truly is. So, chosen one, don't lose hope. The timing you're waiting for is coming, and it's coming at the perfect moment. Trust that God's timing is far better than anything you could plan or predict. The wait will make the blessing even sweeter. Keep trusting. Keep waiting. Because when the time is right, you will step into the incredible things God has been preparing for you all along. Here it is, chosen one. The unbelievable is finally revealed. You've been waiting, you've been praying, and now the moment has come. It's right here, in front of you. The blessing you've been longing for, the breakthrough you've been believing for, is about to unfold in ways you never imagined. This is not just a wish or a dream. It's a divine reality that is coming to you. Your moment is now. What exactly is this unbelievable thing? It could be many things. It could be financial freedom, a new opportunity, a relationship restored, healing in your body, or a fresh sense of purpose. It could be peace where there was once anxiety, joy where there was once sorrow. Whatever it is tailored just for you. What's coming for you is unique, powerful, and perfectly aligned with God's purpose for your life. It's bigger than you think. Imagine standing on the edge of a vast ocean, watching the waves crash against the shore, knowing that each wave brings something new, something powerful, something life-changing. That's the feeling you should have right now. This is just the beginning of the unbelievable blessings that are going to flow into your life. It's like a wave of favor, peace, and opportunities rushing toward you, and you're right in the path of it. The treasure chest you've been waiting to open is finally unlocked, and what's inside will blow your mind. You've worked, you've prayed, and now it's time to receive. God's blessings are not one size fits all. They are specific, unique, and perfectly designed for you. Whether it's a new job, financial breakthrough, or a shift in your personal life, it is what you need most in this season. It's not just what you've hoped for, it's what God has known you needed all along. But here's the exciting part. It's not just about receiving this blessing, it's about stepping into it with faith, with gratitude, and with open hands. God has prepared this moment for you, and now it's time to step forward into it. Don't hold back, don't question whether you deserve it. You are ready. You've been prepared for this. This moment is the culmination of everything you've prayed for, and it's coming to you now. I want you to take a moment and picture yourself living in this unbelievable blessing. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Take it all in. Visualize the changes happening in your life, the doors opening, the peace flooding your heart. Know this: the unbelievable is yours, and it's not a far-off dream. It's a reality unfolding before your eyes. The time has come. What you've been waiting for is finally here. Your life is about to change in ways that are beyond your wildest imagination. Get ready for it, chosen one. It's your moment. The unbelievable is yours. It's time to step into it. Now, chosen one, it's time to step into the blessing that has been prepared for you. The waiting is over, and the unbelievable is yours to embrace. But here's the thing. When the blessing arrives, it's not enough to simply receive it. You must step into it with boldness, with confidence, and with the understanding that this is your moment to shine. God has been preparing you for this very time, and now you have a responsibility to act. When you receive a blessing, it's not just about taking what you've been given, it's about how you handle it, how you steward it, and how you use it to glorify God. Every blessing is an opportunity for growth, for expansion, and for impact. This is not just a moment for you to enjoy the fruit of your labor. It's a moment for you to share the goodness of God with others, to help those around you, and to step into the fullness of what God has called you to be. How will you steward the blessing? What will you do with it once it's in your hands? You are a steward, a caretaker of the incredible things God has entrusted to you. When that door opens, don't hesitate. Walk through it with faith, knowing that God has already gone before you to make the way clear. When you receive what's been promised, don't hold back. Step forward in courage, knowing that this is your time to shine. Faith without action is dead, just as you trusted God to bring you to this point. Now it's time to take that step of faith into what He has promised. Don't second-guess yourself. Don't wait for the perfect conditions. Just step in. God will meet you where you are, and He will guide you every step of the way. This is the moment you've been preparing for, and everything you need is already inside you. Think about this. When the Israelites were at the edge of the Red Sea, they had to take that first step of faith. They had to trust that God would part the waters and make a way where there seemed to be no way. They couldn't wait for the waters to part first. They had to step in first, and when they did, God made the way clear. The same is true for you. Your blessing is waiting, but you must step into it. You must act on the faith you've built, the trust you've developed, and the promises you've believed in. I've experienced this in my own life. There have been moments when I've had to take a step into the unknown, not knowing exactly how things would work out. But each time as I've stepped in with faith, God has made the path clear. The breakthrough, the blessing, the miracle I was waiting for always followed that first step. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. Now it's your turn. Step into the blessing, step into the destiny God has for you, and step into the future you've been believing for. The door's open, chosen one. Don't wait. Your move makes it real. Take that step with confidence, knowing that God is with you every step of the way. When you move, He moves. When you step forward, He will make sure that the path ahead is clear. So are you ready? Are you ready to take that first step? Step into the blessing, step into your future, and watch how God works miracles in your life. This is your moment. This is your time. Step in, chosen one. The unbelievable is waiting for you. Obstacles will come, chosen one. I wish I could tell you that the path to your blessing will be smooth and without challenge, but that's not the reality. There will be moments when you face delays, doubts, or even opposition. People may question you. Circumstances may try to hold you back, and obstacles may seem like they're blocking your way. But here's the truth. Those obstacles are not roadblocks. They are tests. They are opportunities for you to stand firm in your faith, to trust that God is with you, and to prove that you are more than capable of overcoming anything that comes your way. Think about David. He faced the giant Goliath, a massive obstacle that seemed impossible to overcome. But David didn't see Goliath as a giant that would defeat him. Instead, he saw Goliath as an opportunity for God to show his power. David said, "The battle is the Lord's," 1 Samuel 17:47. And with that declaration of faith, he stepped into battle. What seemed like an impossible obstacle turned into his victory. The obstacles you face will seem like giants at first. But the key is not to focus on the size of the obstacle. It's to focus on the size of your God. He is bigger than any problem, any opposition, any difficulty you will face. The bigger the obstacle, the bigger the opportunity for God to show His greatness in your life. I want you to think about your current obstacles right now. What are you facing that seems like a giant? Maybe it's financial struggles, a health issue, a relationship problem, or a career setback. Whatever it is, I want you to shift your perspective. Instead of seeing it as something that will stop you, start seeing it as something that will strengthen you. Each obstacle you overcome brings you one step closer to your blessing. And here's something important to remember. Obstacles don't define your future. Your response to them does. You have the power to decide how you will face challenges. Will you shrink back in fear, or will you rise up in faith? Will you allow doubt to stop you, or will you press forward, knowing that God is with you? It's in those moments when you feel like giving up that your faith is tested the most. But it's also in those moments that God is setting you up for your breakthrough. I've faced my own obstacles in life. There were times when I felt like I was hitting a wall, that nothing was moving forward, that I was stuck. But in those moments, I learned to trust God more. I prayed, I held on to His promises, and I kept moving forward, even when I couldn't see the way ahead. And every time I did, God showed up. He made a way where there seemed to be no way. He turned my obstacles into stepping stones. I want to encourage you to keep going. Don't let the obstacles define you or derail your progress. When you face challenges, remember that they are simply opportunities for God to show His strength through you. Keep your faith strong, your focus sharp, and your heart open to what God is doing in you and through you. The obstacles you face today will only make your victory that much sweeter. You are built for this, chosen one. God has equipped you with everything you need to overcome whatever stands in your way. You've already made it this far, and you are more than capable of going even further. So when the obstacles come, and they will, don't be discouraged. Stand firm, hold your ground, and trust that God will fight for you. Keep moving forward in faith, because your breakthrough is closer than you think. You've got this. Keep your eyes on the prize, keep pressing forward, and watch how God turns every obstacle into a testimony of His power. The victory is already yours. Keep fighting. Chosen one, we've journeyed together through promise, preparation, faith, and overcoming obstacles. And now, as we reach the final chapter of this journey, I want to leave you with something unforgettable. This isn't the end. It's just the beginning. The unbelievable blessings you've been waiting for, praying for, and preparing for are no longer a distant dream. They are here. They are yours. And they are just the start of what God has in store for you. From the very first moment you embraced the idea of what could be, you set in motion a transformation that's only beginning to unfold. God's promises are true, and now it's time for you to live boldly in the fullness of those promises. You are chosen, equipped, and prepared for greatness. Your time is now. This is not just about receiving blessings. It's about living out your purpose. It's about stepping into the future God has prepared for you and making the most of every moment. No longer will you be defined by the struggles of the past or the doubts of the present. You are defined by the greatness that God has placed within you. Your future is not just bright, it's blazing with purpose, direction, and the power to change lives. You are not alone in this journey. You have a community of believers cheering you on, lifting you up, and supporting you every step of the way. Together we rise. Together we walk in faith. Together we embrace the unbelievable. And as you continue on your journey, remember this: the best is yet to come. You've only scratched the surface of what God is going to do in and through your life. He's just getting started. As you move forward, live boldly, live blessed, and live free. Don't look back. Don't hold on to anything that doesn't serve you. Embrace your future with open arms and expect the unbelievable to unfold in every area of your life. Your blessing is not just a one-time event. It's the beginning of a lifelong journey of favor, abundance, and divine purpose. You will rise higher than you've ever dreamed. You will impact others in ways you never thought possible. Your life will be a testimony to the goodness and faithfulness of God. This is just the start, chosen one. The unimaginable is already on its way, and it's yours to claim. Step into it with confidence. You were born for this moment. You were born to be a light in the world, to make a difference, and to experience a life that is truly beyond your wildest dreams. So let me leave you with this. Rise up, chosen one. Your future is now. You are chosen, you are loved, and you are ready. The unbelievable is yours, and it's time to walk into it with boldness, faith, and joy. Keep going. Keep believing. Keep receiving, because your destiny is just beginning. And if you feel in your heart that this message has touched you, I encourage you to share it. Share it with someone who needs to hear it, who needs to believe in the unbelievable. Together, we can spread this hope, this faith, and this truth, because the unbelievable is for all of us. This is your time. The unbelievable is yours. Now go live it.